This college football picks week 14 edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is presented by WynnBet. WynnBet is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From boosted same game parlays to live in-game odds, WynnBet has what you need to win. Sign up today, bet $100 and get a $100 free bet at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET.
This is Mike Leach, head football coach at Mississippi State, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Cox.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Oh, what was that? Hold on, do that again.
Oh wait, hold on. There we go.
Dog.
Jesus,
We go.
I thought we lost. Sean, I gotta be honest. It's been a tough season for Coach Pry and the Virginia Tech Hokies.
Yes.
Now a basketball school. We're transitioning. Boy. But when Colby and we'll get to it in a second. But when I see what's going on at the old University of Miami, as we say,
oh yes,
F the U, love it. Horror. I hate to see a program
we'll be,
hitting rock bottom.
We'll be talking to that in just a second. Joining us as always, talk college football, Colby Dant, aka the Dantabase.
Good night, Mike.
What's up?
Colby, pick Dundee's in the USA right now. It's World
Yes,
Cup.
I'm
Yeah,
rocking
true.
USA.
That was
Shout
a
out,
sweat, man.
Shout out to our boys in blue pulling it out. Man, that was a long 9 minutes, 10 minutes of extra time.
You guys missed me on Thanksgiving week. I went to the bar by my house. Might have had a little bit too much alcohol. Gotten in an argument with a bunch of people from Europe about how if Barry Sanders played soccer, we dominate you.
Imagine
right?
you're only you go to America to experience American culture, and it's just Colby going. Now, like halfway,
Tyreek Hill would destroy your sport if he played it.
now halfway
Right?
through, did you change sides and go? You know what? Yeah, you guys are way better at sports than us. And
But the fish and chips, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Highlight of that story for me was Colby saying, "You may have missed it."
no, I could have probably
The news
typed
didn't
out
pick it
the
up.
chat
I thought the news
verbatim.
might have picked it up.
You might have missed it.
I'm gonna start telling you stories from my life like that, Sean.
You might have missed it because you're not living in my life. All right, we got a lot going on. We got a special guest coming up. Then obviously college football picks, week 14, conference championships, even talk a little FCS. Breaking news. Our college football pick'em contest has ended. We have the winners here to announce. Coming in third place, getting a $100 gift certificate to the SGPN store. Shout out to Senor Baracho. Second place, winning $500 and a $100 gift card to the SGPN store. Bortle service. Congrats to him. And
Oh, is that a Blake Bortles reference?
I would imagine. I'm guessing
Just
so.
sipping that whiskey.
Coming in at first place with the $1,000 and a $100 gift card to the SGPN store. Hoosiers 00. Congrats, guys. You've already been emailed. If you didn't get the email, hit me up and we'll get you paid.
What was one of those people, Andy?
No, our good buddy Andy Bice. I don't know if you saw, Ryan. He was in first place.
This is great.
And he had it was like a unit based thing. He had 140,000 units. He could have just sat on the lead, parked the bus. Instead, in true DGen fashion, he goes, "You know what? Corum isn't playing. I'm going all in on Ohio State money line."
No.
He risked his entire bankroll.
Should have listened to Dundee. Should have listened to Dundee here. I told you, Michigan on the money line.
More
Those finesse
importantly,
teams can't ride with Harbaugh.
Real onions play. Real onions play.
Yeah,
That was great though. That was great.
Shout out to what a
Shout
win
out
by
to
Michigan.
Andy. And if you missed, in case you missed it, this is for the audience. In case you missed it, audience, Andy is behind the scenes emailing Sean and I all the time, and so I was rooting for him. So
Yes.
both happy that he let it ride, and also sad that he lost. See, I can have two emotions at the same time.
No. All right, let's get to it.
No.
And of course, College Football Picks podcast. All the podcasts on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Brought to you by WynnBet. Bet big, win bigger with WynnBet. Bet $100, get $100 free bets.
Yes, sir.
Active in so many states. Get that parlay in there. Spin that parlay wheel. Build your own same game parlay, aka the Win Build a Bet. Get started today. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/WynnBet. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/WynnBets. Subject to change. Terms and conditions at WynnBet.com. This is 21 or older. President of the state where playthrough WynnBet is available. If you're somebody who has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. Joining us on the line, former quarterback for the Southern Illinois Salukis,
Playoff winning
winner,
quarterback,
FCS playoff winner, and you can hear him on ESPN West Palm, Mr. Stone Labanowitz. What's up, Stone?
What's going on? I'm just happy to be here, boys. Listening each and every week, watching you guys cash it out. You guys spoke about USA getting it done against, I forgot what you guys used instead of Iran. It was Iran, whatever it was.
Iran.
Just excited to be here, guys. Iran.
I run. That's the what was that
the Flock
movie?
of Seagulls song.
A movie where that fella like broke out of his braces and started running. Forrest Gump.
Oh yeah,
It's a real.
That's the funniest description
legendary
of that.
kick returner.
So Stone, we're gonna talk FCS playoffs. We'll talk big picture stuff, but you, besides the stuff you do for ESPN West Palm, you also are involved doing some game day stuff on the sidelines at the University of Miami Stadium there.
Call him South Beach Insider.
South Beach Insider. That sounds like a good. I like that. I like that term for Stone.
It can be for a lot of different things, if you know what I mean.
little behind the scenes as well. Now you had gone on the radio. You did an audiogram where you were saying that the student section for the Hurricanes was looking to be pretty light for the upcoming game. Walk us through what happened.
Yeah, so the boss comes in. It's a pre-shift meeting, right? It's all the luxury executives and all the grounds people who kind of work in some of the suites and the clubs and whatnot. And we go over attendance and who's coming, right? Important guests. And he said, guys, a little light in the student section tonight. We're expecting about 35 to 40. And we all paused. And he's like, yeah, we're not running the buses from campus to the stadium for the students. And I'm thinking, well, Jesus Christ, 40 kids. What is this going to look like? And they're like, all right. And on top of that, we have 20 to 25,000 tickets sold. And anytime your ticket's sold, you got to bump that thing down 15, 20 grand. So there's 10,000 people in the stands. There are 12 mighty students in that student section, and these guys got their ass mollywopped by Pitt at home, contending for bowl eligibility. Man, it was a scene for sure. It was a scene, but 40 kids in the student section expected a lot less than that.
Let me tell you, man, and I know you're a Miami guy. They didn't deserve to, like, they shouldn't have been close to sniffing a bowl game. They shouldn't have, they did not deserve to be sniffing a bowl game.
Yeah, I mean, you get lit up by Pitt at home. That's tough.
Quick question. I mean, you got all this money to pay the players. You don't have a couple bucks for just run the buses just so it
I've been
random
on some,
kid accidentally goes to the game?
I've been on some TV shows where it's like, hey, the studio audience isn't filling up. You hire some extras. Is University of Miami? Can they not hire some extras? I mean, you played at Southern Illinois, much smaller program, but you guys would get way more than 12 kids in the student section.
Well, I mean, come on, dude. That was a dog pound. I would take the dog pound over whatever the Hurricanes got going on each and every week. I mean, it makes sense, though, right? They're 1-10 against the spread. The one cover coming against Bethune-Cookman in week 1. And from then out, it was a debacle each time these guys took the field. So I don't blame the students, man. It was Thanksgiving break, right? It ain't worth anybody's time right now.
They got to get the stadium back on campus, man. I don't like all this stuff playing in these NFL stadiums. They got to get it back. Get it on campus. Let's go. I'm with you. I'm with you
110%, because so after we had talked about the attendance, right, I hit up John Ruiz, one of Miami's biggest boosters. At this point, he's infamous. And we're going to talk about putting this stadium on campus, right, in Tropical Park, where he's put out all these layouts. A real Miami fan hates it, but a real college football fan wants it. And I think that's why you say that. And that's why I would agree with you, right? It's just make it easier for all these kids, no matter how big of a cluster F it is, get everybody there.
We see it here at UCLA, and UCLA is on the west side of LA by the ocean. So on a Saturday,
it's like an hour and 15.
Yeah.
I mean, my buddy who's a UCLA fan was was coming from the beach to the UCLA USC game. From like leaving his house till he got into the stadium, it was like 3.5 hours.
Oh, imagine too if you don't have a car. If you're a college kid, you're not gonna pay like $200 for an Uber.
No,
you know what I mean.
They got to put them on campus whenever they can. Makes a ton of sense. All right, Stone. Let's talk FCS college football playoffs. I got the futures I'm looking at right here. South Dakota State over at WynnBet is +175. Sacramento is +250. Montana State +600. North Dakota State +600. Incarnate Ward +1200. What's your take on the FCS college football playoffs? We already got the first round out of the way, but who do you like here for the remaining playoffs?
Yeah, so I'm fading a lot of the big dogs. I went on my FCS Nation show and gave out some teams that I saw value in and some teams that I don't see value in. And the first team that I don't is North Dakota State. And all has to do with the quarterback that's under center. He is somewhat young. He's been in the system for a while now. But when you go through some of these box scores and you look at how he performed week in and week out, he'll finish games 7 of 12. He'll finish games 6 of 10. Like, they don't let him air it out. One, it's because they don't have to, because none of the teams are able to even stop the run. But playoffs is a lot different. You're going to get a team that's really big up front. You're going to walk into South Dakota State. Sometime they're going to see Montana, who's nice up front this weekend. And a lot's going to be asked of the quarterback of the Bison, Cam Miller, and I don't think he'll be able to get it done. So I'm fading North Dakota State for the most part right now.
I like it. What about Montana State +600? They dominated in the Brawl of the Wild. I like what I've seen out of them so far. Any value in them at +600?
Most definitely. So when it opened up, they were at, I believe, +450. And the matchup that they have with Weber State is why that number went up, right? Because if North Dakota won, that number would have swooped down. But here comes Weber State, a team that's been in the playoffs, and that's why that number juiced up a little bit. If they get by Weber, there's nobody left in that quarter. So they're automatically one of the 4 teams left. I see a lot of value in Montana State. We saw the college game day stuff. These guys have a lot going. They think they finally found their quarterback in Tommy Mellott. I gave out 2 teams that I saw value in. One of them was Montana State. The other one was Samford, who's so high up on the board that you didn't even name at +2,900.
Yeah,
and they have a
crazy
quarterback who's a Walter Payton Award finalist, and their one loss is against the UGA Bulldogs and Stetson Bennett. So realistically, they'd be a 10-0, 11-0 football team. Their quarterback's an absolute savage. So I like Samford as well.
They run the air raid, man. They got that air raid
yes,
going
they do.
there. Yeah. Long shot wise, I've kind of been high on this team basically with their FBS performances. Gardner Webb almost knocked off Coastal Carolina in Conway. Then they lost to Liberty by 1. I was on them last week as a dog. I think they can give William & Mary a game this weekend. What do you make of the running Bulldogs?
The running Bulldogs is exactly what they are. Like, they put the ball on the ground and they pound teams. Here's the thing. It's embarrassing to look at these kids on the field. Last week when they beat Eastern Kentucky, it was JV versus varsity, but JV whooped varsity's ass. I like, as somebody who supports FCS and tries to pump it out to FBS guys, like, can't tune into a Gardner Webb game and be like, oh yeah, this is your guys' style of football. They look small and stuff, but the results show they went out and beat what I thought was a pretty good Eastern Kentucky team with a really good quarterback, and they led that thing wire to wire. So they're impressive. If they're able to, get 100, 200 yards rushing in the first half, they're most definitely a problem because then they control the clock.
They kept it closer against Liberty than Arkansas in the mighty SEC. Let's go Bulldogs, baby. No, I think you're right, though. I think you're right, but I still think they could be chippy. I think they could give William & Mary a game this weekend.
Yeah. Do you have any lockstone for FCS for this weekend? I know you said you're looking to fade North Dakota State. Maybe you're on Montana and the points there. Any particular games this week jump out at you?
So I'm going to go a little obscure, but the SWAC championship game is this weekend, and it's Neon Dion primetime, baby. His boys are going to light Southern up. They already have. So if you want this guy to make his way to the FBS, and if he thinks he's going, he's trying to make a statement. Like I said, they already beat up on these guys, and I expect them to run their scoreboard up. We'll see Shador light it up through the air on the ground, and they'll have a lot of fun on the sideline. So if you want to get involved, it's a nice little championship game, but all the other ones are pretty sharp. I like I just mentioned, Samford. I think they're going to end up scoring 40, 50 points again. So Take them on the over, take them on the spread. I think Sanford, I'm riding these guys really hard.
I feel like I'm gonna make a little future play. I like this.
Yeah, no, I'm on board with the Sanford one. He's making a good case.
29-1. That's like a 60-point favorite on a Sunday show.
I want to ask about one more team here. Sacramento State went undefeated in the Big Sky. Troy Taylor's doing a great job. I see them mentioning him for the Stanford job, perhaps. What do you think? I know the Hornets have had regular season success, I feel like, for a few years now, but when it comes to the playoffs, they folded. Do you think that's going to happen again, or do you think they can find their way deep into the FCS playoffs this year?
Okay, so they will have a matchup in the quarterfinal. I'm already slotting them in the quarterfinals with Incarnate Word. I'm already doing it. Sacramento State can beat anybody on any given Sunday. They're definitely one of the best. They should have the same odds as South Dakota State like they did when they opened up. That's all warranted. But who they're going to see in the quarterfinals is one of the best quarterbacks that I've ever watched play on a football field, and that's Lindsey Scott Jr.
Oh, yeah.
He plays quarterback at Incarnate Word. He went to LSU coming out of high school. We watched him go to EMCC, and we watched him on Last Chance U. He became somewhat of a phenomenon. And here he comes at Nichols, then finds his way to Incarnate Word, following up Cam Ward, who now is in the FBS, right? So he's had a nice little track run. And what does he do this year? He seeds these guys at 7 all by himself. He's got 50 touchdowns, a little less than 4,000 yards. I mean, he's absolutely a problem. I don't know if they have the size when they get into that Final Four, but they can beat anybody they want to. They can beat Sacramento State easily. So that's where I'm hesitant on Sacramento State. They're sitting in the same corner, and that's going to be a really, really good matchup. So Lindsey Scott Jr. is a problem when it comes time for Sacramento State to get into that quarterfinal or further.
Okay, so we're taking an Incarnate future. We're taking a Sanford future. I'm just it's just so everyone knows.
And Montana State. I know you're still bruised about the Brawl of the Wild.
Well,
man.
Bobcats don't beat Grizzly Bears. I mean, I work with Colby. He's a bear aficionado. Shout out to Cocaine Bear. I saw the posters on the internet.
That's gonna be
give him the Oscar now.
Real quick, Stone was very polite. He is the guest. He was very polite to you. Gardner Webb is a comical 200-1 to win the championship. There's only 16 teams left.
That is crazy.
All I'm saying is this. They played 3 FBS teams. I don't think most of these teams have played 2, let alone 3.
Because they need the money.
I know,
Gardner Webb
but
needs
they
the
shout
money.
out. They shout out in those. They lost to Liberty by 1. They almost beat Grayson McCall.
We need to. And I'm just realizing.
Is that a marching band I hear, Sean, coming down the street?
I don't know how we haven't figured this out before, but how does SGPN not field a team? We can get Stone to be our quarterback, and we can play these schools that need a cupcake and we're gonna make a ton of money,
dude. And John Ruiz, he has a lot of money. You know what I mean? Let's go.
I have believe it or not, I have believe it or not 4 years of eligibility for college football. I know Colby does. Ryan,
Patty C's got some experience.
Rugby was not a sport that took away my eligibility at the time. So
that would be great. Where we just play these FBS schools and get dominated and get millions of dollars. I love it.
I voice my opinion on the automatic qualifiers all the time, and I feel bad doing it, but it's just a bad look. Like, we can't attract any FBS fans. You got Gardner Webb, whose jerseys don't fit a lot of the players out there. Holy Cross is undefeated, right? They've beaten Buffalo. Woo! These guys are not
don't
good.
Come
They're
at Matt Sluka. Oh man. Man. We're gonna do some battle. We're gonna do some battle, man.
If we're going to do some battle, that's fine, because if you're looking for another lock, then let's just go New Hampshire. That line's going to be low. They'll most likely be the underdogs. Max Brosmer, the quarterback for New Hampshire, he'll tear Holy Cross up. I'm fading a lot of these automatic qualifiers because I feel personal. I'm like, come on, there are other teams who have fought hard all season and deserve a shot, not a non-scholarship school.
I see Holy Cross -4. I think will be that line.
I like that.
Matthew Saluka, dude. Holy Cross beat UConn last year. They beat Buffalo of the MAC this year.
And Colby is looking into the. He's actually peering.
We're in the Matrix.
We're peering into the looking glass right now. He can see ahead of time to what the numbers will be. Look, I love that Stone's coming in. I feel like we need to. You two need to get together for like a 90-minute episode.
Yeah.
Talking about how to fix the playoff, because Stone's coming at you. Some of your pillars.
Okay, Crusaders.
I love this. He's telling me
they haven't lost a game. They deserve to be here. You know what I mean?
Handicapping 101. If the jerseys don't fit, fade that team. So I'm
Every
with Stone.
time.
Wait, it's true. FIU. What was the problem with Florida International last year? Butch Jones was complaining he had Mississippi State shoulder pads from 2005.
It's always a red flag.
They went 1-11. You might be onto something.
Stone, let's talk a little FBS here. The coaching carousel. You mentioned Dion. It looks like maybe he's gonna make a jump. If you had to pick now, where do you think Dion ends up as a head coach? Could he go to Colorado?
So he was asked this morning, I believe, on a SWAC coaching call that if he got the offer, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm not going to hide from you guys. Like, I got given that offer, and they're not the only one. I'd be lying if I told you that was the case." So he seemed open and honest about it. I don't know if he wants to go to the Pac-12. I just don't know if that's. I don't think there's an answer necessarily to this question because it was Georgia Tech, and that was like a media civilian push narrative, and then it comes down to reports that he was at USF's building this morning, and someone said that deal's about 90% done, right? Where he's in cahoots with a lot of these teams. USF makes sense to me, and I know that sounds weird to everybody, and I think FAU does as well. He's ideally wants to be in the South. He wants to recruit the state of Florida. So as far as going out to Colorado, I don't necessarily think so. Here's if I had to lock in an answer, because I'm not too confident in anything in regards to where Dion's going to go, but I think he'll stay at Jackson State another year. I think he's going to feel really good after Saturday, winning another SWAC championship, and a lot's going to happen to that university. A lot of things are going to happen, on the back end that we don't get to see that would make him stay until a perfect job blossoms up for him. So I think he'll hang tight for a little bit.
Yeah, Hugh Freeze just got hired at Auburn. What do you make of Hugh Freeze? And it seemed like there was a bit of steam about Lane Kiffin going there. He re-signed with Ole Miss, but how do you think Hugh Freeze is going to fit in at Auburn?
Listen, I love this because I am so against cancel culture. So this dude gets a job at Auburn, and we want to bring up Tex and all the nonsense that what are we doing? What the hell are we doing? Let this guy get in there, coach his football team. He don't want to be answering your nerdy ass questions in this press conference about stuff that he did God knows how long ago. What are we doing? He's here to coach a really good powerhouse team in the SEC. Let him get to work. So I'm rooting for Hugh Freeze because of that. That's just the spiteful side of me. But I like the hire. I think it's worthy. We've known what he's done in this conference before and stuff. So I like it all the way. I'm rocking with you.
It is really funny because, there's a lot that's pretty funny about it, but Hugh Freeze has to surrender his Twitter account as part of the contract agreement with Auburn. They're we want to get out ahead of this.
It was already a little dysfunctional because they hired the Mississippi State athletic director who had kind of been responsible in a way for some of that Ole Miss stuff coming out. So it's very interesting. I don't know that it was his hire, but the boosters got to say, and I'm with Stone here. He's a winner, man. Say what you want about his tactics or whatever, but the guy can dial up offense. Auburn's going to have, I think, a pretty good
college football is better when Auburn's good, Colby.
Sure.
No, it's not. That's something.
War Eagle.
No one says.
War Eagle. Come on. Yeah, I like it. I agree with that.
Soon Saban will be in the dirt, and we won't care about the Iron Bowl.
No, we've always cared about the Iron Bowl. You're fucking crazy.
I saw Stone coming at you earlier. I figured I'd try my shot.
What about the college football playoff in the FBS? If you had to pick 4 teams right now before conference championship, it's certainly going to be an interesting one for the committee. But if you had to pick your 4 in for the college football playoff, what are you looking to do?
I mean, it's super simple here, right? It's Georgia. It is TCU. It's Michigan. Well, I would go obviously Michigan at 2, then TCU. And then I do think it's the Trojans tonight. And obviously the question that we do need answer from the committee is where do you put more value in? The 1-loss team who got blown out at home in Ohio State, or the 2-loss team in Bama who's lost them both on the road and somewhat the last minute of the game. So I'm excited for that. I think that's the storyline going into tonight, or when we will see those rankings come out. But the Alabama stuff kills me. I think it's hilarious. I would love to see them come wreck it up.
That would be if they make it into the playoff. As someone who doesn't have a skin in the game, I just want to win bets. Alabama make it into the playoff would just enrage so many people.
My take is I want the best teams playing for the national championship.
Yes.
But you also, I do think that as long as we're gonna have conference championship games, if you don't play for your conference championship,
100%. I'm about to go crazy.
You can lose your conference championship, fine. But if you get a bye, because USC only gets hurt if they lose the game that Ohio State and Alabama didn't qualify to play in. So I mean, if you say that out loud, it sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, it is ridiculous.
No, like if Georgia loses the SEC championship, I'm still fine with them getting in. But yeah, to your point,
no, I'm fine with pretty much if all 4 lose. I think all 4 should still be in.
So you think? But what about so if Georgia loses, you think they should still be in, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, what will be fun? Like, what's the most mayhem that can happen?
And I think Michigan, if Michigan lost to Purdue, I still think they would deserve to be in. Honestly.
LSU,
all 4.
Yeah,
all 4. Like you're playing the extra game.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what's stupid with having a 14 playoff out of 131 teams. But
sure, but the point here, we are faced with a dire situation, which is one of these Big 12 or Pac-12 teams loses their championship game, and we have to deal with an obnoxious fan base, Ohio State or Alabama, getting in after, and then they'll do fine. So then people will be like, well, they deserve to be there. At some point, the college football thought trust went from saying that we don't need a fucking playoff because every regular season game matters to nothing. Wins don't fucking matter anymore, Sean.
Yeah.
Wins don't matter. Just use fucking power.
Oh, we saw it in 2014.
Alabama would be favored on a neutral site versus anyone. They deserve to be there. Fuck you. They lost games because they played road games this year. I'm out. I'm done with this shit.
How about in 2014?
Talk to me next year.
TCU beats Iowa State. If TCU is ranked number 3. Going into the final week of the season, they beat Iowa State 55-3. They drop back 3 spots.
Yeah.
If that happens again, watch that happen again tonight.
I mean, it's such a fucked up year with like there really isn't anyone that deserves to be in there after the 4 teams that we discussed. So it does suck that Ohio State or Alabama is going to find their way in.
Oh, the people that are like Bama won the last or they lost their 2 games on the final play. Yeah, but they also won 3 games on the final play.
Yeah,
they're not far away from being a 5-loss team.
You don't take those away from them. All right, Stone, appreciate you calling into the show.
Stone just got to watch us yell about the playoff.
I was over here like, yeah, go Colby. Ryan, go Ryan. I was loving it.
Any other locks you want to throw out before we let you go? Stuff you like in the upcoming football weekend, NFL maybe. What do you like this weekend?
I like the guy who painted his nails FUND. I like Caleb Williams. I like that line at -130. I think they're playing with destiny. Like this is their year. They're not going to drop this game. Kyle Whittingham sat down, the Utes head coach, and said everyone already penciled them in the playoffs and everyone already penciled Caleb Williams the Heisman. Well, you're damn right he did because both are happening. I like USC in that line. I like it low.
Like it. Nice little lock there. Stone, as always, appreciate you calling in. Make sure you follow Stone on Twitter at Labanowitz Stone. Check out FCS Nation Radio and his work on ESPN West Palm. Thanks, Stone. Appreciate it, man.
Deuces, boys.
All right.
I love that.
Shout out to Rocket Money. That's right, Rocket Money. Great way to save you a ton of cash. Need a couple extra bucks for the holiday season. I mean, what better way than canceling all these subscriptions you don't use? Think about it. So many, I get emails all the time. Oh, you've been billed for this. Or they don't even email you. You just set up the auto pay. You completely forget about it. You don't even use it. Get rid of it. Probably have like some Bowflex membership on there you're not even using. Think about all the stuff you signed up for during the pandemic because you're bored at home. You're probably not using half that stuff right now. You got to cancel the ones you don't use and save some cash. Rocket Money is here to help. All you have to do is press cancel, right? Cancel the subscription, one button. They make it super easy. Just go to rocketmoney.com/SGPN. That's rocketmoney.com/SGPN. It could save you hundreds, even thousands a year. rocketmoney.com/SGPN. All right, let's get to the picks.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah, Stone's great.
Great opportunity to talk to Mr. Stone. I enjoyed his insightful handicap of the FCS playoffs. I thought, Colby, you should have him on the show. I demand you lock that down. Let's get Stone on full-time FCS stuff.
Let's go.
I'm betting that Sanford future. I really like that. All right, we're heading to Friday. Friday.
Yeah,
It's Friday, 10 a.m. here on the West Coast. Buffalo.
This is not a championship game. This is just a game that got rescheduled.
We're just playing football, and they decided to play football. I mean, a couple years back, we wouldn't have played this game, Colby. We're playing this one. Buffalo laying 11.5 against Akron, 34 or 30 plus 340 on the money line, minus 464. Buffalo, 55.5 is the total. How's the weather going to be in Buffalo? First of all,
sunny. It's cold but sunny.
Okay, so no snow. We're not going to have.
I think that's on Saturday. I think it's snowing on Saturday.
Isn't this game Saturday?
No, this is Friday.
Oh, Friday.
Yeah,
Friday, 10 a.m. West Coast time.
We'll be here in the office watching football, baby. Maction.
1 o'clock afternoon Friday game. Yeah, I mean, Maction just loves playing at the odd times. It's a good strategy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Buffalo, they are playing for a bowl game, so I think their motivation is going to be high. Can they? The number feels slightly high. I mean, Akron coming off a big win at Northern Illinois. They can move the ball too. I think Akron in the points is the play here. Am I crazy, Colby?
No, zip it up, man. You saw what they did. All right, they just destroyed Northern Illinois. I know Buffalo is playing for that bowl game, but I don't know that Buffalo's that good. So I think you're getting points. Akron's been chippy this year. So I had a future on Akron over 2.5 wins that got voided when this game got canceled.
Oh,
really? Why did it get canceled? Because of the snow?
Yeah. The blizzard was hitting.
Colby was yelling about how the NFL's pussies. They're going to play a college game in the snow.
That
game got canceled.
Okay.
The NFL is pussies because that was on Sunday when no snow was happening. This game was scheduled in the middle of the fucking blizzard.
Understood.
So get out of here with that nonsense.
How many games has Akron won so far? They two wins.
Two. So they would hit on this one if it didn't get voided.
Well, I mean, they void because you have to play
when they're scheduled.
12 games have to be started or whatever. I wonder. That's interesting. That feels like an email to customer support. Hey buddy, see they rescheduled the game, same location, nothing changed.
Let me walk you through this journey of Akron. Early in the year, obviously they go out and get Joe Moorhead, the OC from Oregon.
Yep.
It was a home run hire. But early in the year, obviously getting their ass whooped. But then they keep it within 9 against Liberty. They lose by 3 to Bowling Green. This game against Central Michigan, they're in field goal range. It's 21-21 with 20 seconds left, and they do an option read. The quarterback drops the ball. Central Michigan takes it to the house. It was heartbreaking. Then a 6-point loss to Kent State. They've been right there. 6-point loss to Eastern Michigan. They're going to cover this number. Let's go Zips.
A lot of people are probably wondering where they can find a book so generous to cancel it out now. It
just got rescheduled recently.
Pat Kevin YouTube channel says, "Damn, mine didn't get voided." He was looking for the void.
You might want to wait until the end on that though, because I don't know. They might still void that.
Wait to see if you win or not, and then
Most places will void anytime a location changes, time or location.
Kramer, Akron, you in or out?
I'm out.
You're on Buffalo.
I'm on Buffalo. I think the money came in on Akron, but I'm going to create an island here. Wondering why we're discussing these games when there's glorious championship games being played.
No, you got to discuss the outdoor games. Because a lot of these are filthy.
4:30 here on the West Coast. We're heading to San Antonio, Texas, not New York, as you wrote down, Colby. San Antonio's actually.
Just wanted to see if you were going to catch that one.
San Antonio, New York.
The Mean Green of North Texas head to San Antonio to face UTSA. -8.5 for UTSA, -330 on the money line, +255 for North Texas. 68 is the total. Meep.
Nope.
No.
Give me the Mean Green here, plus the points. Look, this has been a little chippy rivalry. UTSA was undefeated a season ago, and North Texas was the
UNT can throw the ball too.
They beat them a year ago to ruin their perfect season. This year, UTSA beat them, but needed a score with 15 seconds left to beat them. I think this is a chippy game. I know also there's an angle where Seth Luttrell, who our boy Mike Leach, remember Seth Luttrell, the head coach of North Texas, was the guy who dropped the clipboard. The fake playbook for the Texas Longhorns here, but there's speculation that they still might can this guy, even though he's 7-5 and played in the CUSA Championship. I think his players show up for him. Give me the Mean Green plus the points.
This is over. This is turned into a nice rivalry game.
Yeah.
Both offenses top 30. Yeah, and UNT can definitely move the ball. So I think you give them 8.5 points. I like that number. Yeah, give me North Texas.
Yep, agree.
Oh wow.
I'm speeding the show ahead to the big power conferences that everyone
let's
wants to
blow
listen
through
to.
these.
Pac-12 championship. There we go, Sean. We're
talking.
We're heading to Vegas.
Disgusting.
Friday night.
We're heading to Vegas. Beautiful stadium out there. The Death Star looks
terrible.
Looks pretty awesome. I mean, objectively looks awesome.
It is a fun place to watch a game.
5 p.m.
They should never play a football game here.
5 p.m. on Friday.
Go to a fucking EDM concert here. All right.
They probably have that too. Actually, that's at the NASCAR track. 5 p.m. on Friday. Utah, USC. It's the Pac-12 championship. USC -3, -160 on the money line. Utah +135. 67 is the total. I mean, another game where it's hard to not want to get on USC at this point. Like it felt like that. We discussed this early in the season. Like it was early that they were going to trip up, but if they got things figured out, they would have access to the playoffs, just like Oklahoma, who didn't get there. But and USC
6
and USC is heading in the right direction. It's not like this line is something weird like 3.5. Or 4.
No, I like Utah as a team, but I like them at home. They have such a good home field advantage, and they took down USC 43-42. It was a crazy game, and USC just has like so much momentum. Nice win against UCLA, and Caleb Williams just balling out of control, winning the Heisman essentially. Against Notre Dame, really good win for them. I just don't see how they slow down this. I don't see how Utah slows down USC, especially in a dome. And I think they'll get some decent USC fans out there.
I mean, it's the hype. The hype is it's the fact that Heisman,
can they live up to it? Yeah.
But I think what would be better? I mean, is there a better I mean, obviously not, because he's gonna win the Heisman. But is there a quarterback that should more be in the playoff just from a content perspective, from excitement? Like, dude's exciting.
Oh, he's a beast, man.
I mean, there's no.
Should have been playing for Virginia Tech. He's from DC.
Stetson Bennett and Caleb Williams are just they're on a different level.
I see what you did there.
Stetson Bennett is really your argument for him being the greatest college quarterback of all time.
I was not arguing for Stetson Bennett to be the best quarterback ever. I was asking the question, if he should be considered one of the best ever.
Colby,
give me USC -3, man. Utah away from Salt Lake City. I know they whooped Oregon in this game a year ago, but Mario Cristobal is Mario Cristobal. Lincoln Riley is going to have his team prepared. I think, and it's hard to beat a team twice, man. You look at what they did last time. Utah utilized their tight end. I feel like he had like 20 catches in that game. I think USC is going to do a couple little wrinkles. Alex Grinch will do to kind of limit that, and USC is going to win this one.
Shout out to Mike Gardner. He's a big Cowboys fan and Trojans fan. Was talking shit about the Cowboys. But when asked, how you feeling about the future, he's like, "Oh, the Cowboys always choke, but USC, they got a team and a coach this year. So
look out.
USC heads to the college football playoff.
Some Gardner tips.
Got Toledo heads to Ohio, Detroit, Michigan, actually for the MAC championship, where they'll take on Ohio in a dome.
Terrible.
I mean, the MAC play it at like the Brown Stadium or something.
Come on, guys. The Big Ten. All of these. You're killing me.
I like the Big Ten. They give assistance to Ohio State this way.
This is some recent shit. 20 years ago, they didn't do this shit.
Toledo, Ohio. Toledo's laying 1.5, -125 in the money line. Ohio +105. 55 is the total. For being a college football expert, he certainly seems to hate the highest level of college football.
Sean. This week it bothers the shit out of me. This is a week that shout out to Boise, shout out to the Mountain West for doing it.
Okay,
playing a real home game up there in some football weather.
So you're
on that blue turf.
So real quick, your opinion is that a championship game should be played at home.
The best team's record should host the game.
Okay.
I'm taking in this matchup though. This is an interesting matchup because I was all over Ohio, but I saw that their coach interviewed for the Tulsa gig.
Uh-oh.
So I think we take Toledo -1.5 because you got to be wondering what that locker room.
As far as units, Ohio's defense seems like the lowest of everyone. I know they got Curtis Rourke, who has been playing really well, and their offense in general is good. But I think Toledo's able to put up some points.
They got a good defense. The Rockets do, and they run Daquan Finn, who I think is going to be
who gets aided by the turf.
Is good to go.
Who gets aided by the turf?
I actually think that might help Ohio some.
Yeah,
it might help Ohio some with Rourke passing the ball.
Isn't that the handicap? Don't we know enough from these weird championship games? I mean, back into the time machine. Sean?
Is Daquan Finn healthy? Pat Kappa wants it out.
I think so, but even if not, like I just think Toledo can run the ball on this team. Ohio's defense has been awful. I mean, even Fordham, who I know Stone would throw. You know, Stone was giving them the hard time there in the Patriot League.
And I forgot, and Kappa also points out Rourke is out for the season for Ohio.
Oh, that's right. He is out for the year. I forgot about that.
So Kramer, you on Toledo? That's why Toledo's favorite.
No, but they should be. I think they should be fair. I think they're the better team.
I'm just
even with Rourke.
I'm just doing. I mean, I asked Colby a simple question: who gets helped by the turf? And he very rapidly said, "What?"
Well, I think Ohio's more of a finesse team. Toledo's one that's going to black and blue.
We've seen this before, right? You got to take the finesse team. Give me Ohio. Another Kramer Island play. By the way, the Discord's going to be on UTSA and Utah losers. 9 a.m.
That is a disgusting act.
Another 9 a.m. kick here on the West Coast. We're heading to, I assume this is at Jerry's World. Another beautiful dome for some beautiful college football. Kansas State, TCU. It's the Big 12 championship.
How can you go against TCU? You guys were on Iowa State, I think, last week. I mean, this TCU team, they got the Hypno Toad. They're in Texas. I'm not betting against this team until I see otherwise. So give me TCU -2.5.
Well,
and they need to win this game to stay in the college football playoff.
Well, I have a +800 ticket for Kansas State to win the Big 12, so got that going. But no, you don't know the history of the Big 12.
Woo, that's some value.
The history of the Big 12 championship game. It always fucks with the team that has had a great season. You know, I mean, go back. Kansas State can speak of this in '98 against A&M. Colorado did it to Mac Brown in Texas. You can go one by one. Darren Sproles, when he was at K-State, ruined Oklahoma season. The Big 12 has done this for a lot. Last year, Oklahoma State was going to be in if they win. Baylor beats them. Kansas State was beating this team 28-10 with Adrian Martinez and Will Howard. You know, Adrian Martinez, I think, played the first 3 snaps of the game. Then he got injured. Will Howard then played the rest of the game until he got injured. And then when he got injured, the third string quarterback couldn't move the ball. TCU came back and won. It's hard to beat a team twice. Will Howard stays healthy. K-State wins on the money line.
So I'm with you, Cole. The number says this as well, but
TCU Island once again. Colby, this team just figures out ways to win.
But Colby's been set.
They have a Hypno Toad.
Sean, you know one of Ohio State or Alabama's getting in the playoff to piss people off. And 2, Colby's been saying that Kansas State should have beat TCU all fucking year.
Dude, they were up 28-10 with their starting quarterbacks.
I learned from Colby this year is that Kansas State would have beat TCU if they stayed healthy.
Well, you also learned that Michigan's better than Ohio State.
It's a neutral site. Let's go. Give me TCU or give me Kansas State. Let's go. Purple on purple. All right. So speaking of weird colored teams, Coastal Carolina not playing on the gross teal field. They're playing in Troy, Alabama, or another conference where they have the better team host the championship game, or is this just where the games?
This is a real conference. They do it for real here.
The Fun Belt. Troy -8.5 against Coastal, 255 on the money line for Coastal, -330 for Troy, 48.5 is the total. There's the handicap here is pretty simple, right? Can you take Coastal without the quarterback?
Yeah, McCall's out. Chadwell might be gone too. There's talk of him going to South Florida for the job, the head coach.
That his hairstyle fits Florida.
I'm still gonna take the points.
Really?
I think Troy's gonna win, but they have a lot of close wins this year. You go through the schedule: 10-9 win against Army, 10-6 win against South Alabama.
They're missing their quarterback, right?
Yeah. 17-14 win against Texas State.
Give me Troy.
I mean, they have like 5 wins by
Colby,
like
what's Sean doing?
Or less.
Peek over there. Is he looking at some soccer porn or something?
Yeah.
We're talking. Had a little conversation about Grayson McCall. He chimes in with a quarterback's out, right?
Yeah.
You see this?
Well, I'm just making sure
You're looking at slow mos of Christian Pulisic getting hit in the dick, aren't you?
He didn't get hit in the dick.
He got hit in the dick, squarely in the dick.
He didn't. He's a pussy. They're calling it an oblique injury.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you say when you get
No,
hit.
you say groin.
It is tough watching all those flops. It's like Vlade Divac's. It's like the University of Vlade Divac when you watch the World Cup.
Troy. I mean, Troy is clearly the better team. They have the better defense, and they're playing a backup quarterback.
They certainly do have the better defense.
There's some very obvious teases this week.
So you're also on Troy, right?
Oh, very obvious. I led this off with you can't possibly take Coastal without the quarterback. 1 p.m. here on the West Coast. We're heading to Atlanta, Georgia. Chick-fil-A's will be open for the SEC Championship. Georgia, LSU. Holy shit! If LSU could somehow beat the shit out of Georgia, that would be hilarious. If not, if Stetson Bennett takes it down, I'll be asking the question once again of the internet: is Stetson Bennett one of the greatest college quarterbacks of all time? Georgia laying 18 minus 975 on the money line. LSU plus 610. 51 is the total. What does LSU have to do to win and get into the college football playoff? Because can you imagine?
No, they're out.
They
have 3 losses.
Hold on. But can you imagine a world where Georgia and Alabama get into the college football playoff, but the SEC championship LSU Tigers don't?
No, I'm all over.
We Tigers.
The champion of the SEC doesn't. That'd be pretty.
I'm all over LSU. This is like an amazing bounce back spot for them after they laid an egg down in College Station there. I think they're going to bounce back in a huge way. I know Georgia, obviously the better team, but in a weird way, they don't need this game. I mean, you're still motivated to win, essentially at home in an SEC championship, but
you don't have to beat Alabama to win an SEC championship. They're not asleep at the wheel.
You don't think so? So you think Georgia's going to run it up?
No, but I think the number's fair. I mean, obviously it's a championship game, so you're going to look to the dog. But I do worry that there is a chance that the Georgia they go.
Georgia is good, and Jaden Daniels, I don't know, like he's had a couple dud games. Who was that before in the cold where he looked pretty shitty, Colby? A couple weeks back where they won in
Arkansas.
He looked bad.
Yeah.
Texas A&M, he looked bad, but in a dome, I think is kind of his ideal scenario. So I'm taking LSU plus 18.
Yeah, I love it. I love the 18 here because I think Georgia might. There's talk that they could rest. I don't think they will rest. I think an SEC championship means something to them.
Yeah, that narrative makes no sense to me.
But I will say this: I think I think this line's a little off. I mean, look, I think this LSU team is just as talented, if not more talented, than the Notre Dame teams we saw. Brian Kelly's 0-2 against Kirby Smart, but that was a 1-point game and a 6-point game. I think he can. I think Brian Kelly's a good enough coach that he can stay within this, keep it a close game within 10. I would say, give me LSU plus the points.
Will the crowd be a problem being in Georgia?
Yeah. Once again, just play this between the hedges.
No, but I'm like,
play this in this filthy roller rink.
Will this because Sean's point, like, has LSU really looked that good away from home?
At Florida they looked, but Florida's not that good. Yeah, I mean they haven't. They've been inconsistent all year. But
who has the better pass rush?
Oh, I would say Georgia.
Yeah. Georgia low key gets helped out by the turf with that pass rush. I think to Sean's point, Jaden Daniels hasn't passed the eye test.
He is dealing with an ankle sprain too. He's in a walking boot. I'm assuming he's going to play, but
I'll you can zag on the narrative that Georgia lays down here. I think there's a very real chance.
Yeah, they're playing for the top spot.
That this number, not only do you want the top spot, but this number, why you could say how it should be 14. This is too many points for a championship game. You could also say this should be 21 plus. That Georgia is an elite, the only elite team maybe in the country this year. And this could be what do we see in the first round of the playoff all the time? What do we see in the first round of the playoff all the time? 41-10.
Yeah.
Well, that's more than 18. Give me Georgia.
Dog.
You guys really just went with cats over a dog on this show.
Meow.
Tiger,
yeah.
buddy.
Meow.
1 p.m. kick on the West Coast. We're heading to Boise for the Mountain West Championship. Fresno State, Boise State.
That blue turf is unwatchable.
No way.
It's unwatchable. The blue turf with the blue jerseys.
I don't care. Do any type of color. You can make it fucking pink. You could throw it and make it tie-dye. play it outdoors, you win me over. All right.
I will say if I'm power ranking,
I mean, I guess, but you could just have normal jerseys and normal.
But it's a good marketing angle. People know Boise State all around the fucking world because they know, hey, what is this blue turf?
It's no
but
longer,
like watching it on TV is tough to watch when they have the blue jerseys.
it's a clear advantage. You cannot construct a new field that has a colored turf now. They've outlawed that. So they've grandfathered in the Eastern Washingtons and the Boise's and the Coastals and that horrible field with the gray turf.
Don't you fucking?
The gray
that's
turf
the best
that
one.
makes me think the TV's broken.
That's the best one.
But Boise's the best of those. Of the colored turfs, Boise is 100% the best with the blue turf. And this is a massive advantage here. So for them to be sitting here, maybe outmatched a little bit, but to be laying a basic 3 points at home, playing for the championship in front of their home crowd with the weather advantage.
We saw this matchup. You know, Jeff Tedford had left Fresno. He had a heart condition. He was the head coach in 2018. They won this exact game in Boise for the Mountain West Championship. He's back as the head coach now. He's back as the head coach now.
All right.
And they've been up and down all year, but a lot of that had to do with Fresno State was really had the injury bug. Jake Haener is one of the better quarterbacks in college football. Was out for a few games after
he's back, right?
He's back. The secondary, the linebacking core also had a lot of injuries. And then at the same time, you have Boise State that left Bachmeier, transferred. The OC was fired. They were running air raid. Dirk Cutter, I know you guys know him, former Bucks coach, comes in as the OC, and they find this diamond in the rough, Taylon Green, as a freshman who right now everyone's writing about this. Like, how did all these schools whiff on this kid? They're calling him the next Josh Allen. He's a beast. This offense is clicking with him running.
Right, I give up.
And a monster arm. I'm with you though. I think Boise. I think Boise remembers that. I think Boise remembers 4 years ago. Andy Avalos.
You got me all hyped. I was going to be on Fresno.
I'm on Fresno.
I saw 36 degrees and I said, I don't know, California guys.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's chilly in Fresno.
It's gonna be a game though. I expect it to be right around the number.
Elevation?
All right, over under
2730. I'm taking Fresno. If Boise had secret elevation, maybe I'd lean their way.
Boise's got a top 10 defense. I think that's the difference.
The lows in Fresno this week or on Thursday, 36 and raining low. So that's not that. Come on, Colby, Fresno. And I'm gonna predict this is a Benedict game. Did you already get down on Fresno +5? You got that opening line, Fresno +5.5.
I've been college basketball mode, man. Deep.
Slacking.
Yeah.
Another 1 p.m. kick here on the West Coast. The AAC Championship heading to Nolens, where Tulane and UCF.
This is a real game. It's
off.
It's on the home.
We're playing at home.
Yeah.
-3.5 for Tulane. -165 on the money line. UCF +140. 56.5 is the total. What's next? I mean, is this a UCF game? I mean, narrative wise, are we taking UCF here?
Oh man, it's tough. They just played 3 weeks ago, and UCF won 38-31, I believe.
I'm on Tulane. UCF will get. I don't know, man. Their play calling gets really frustrating at times. They get too cute, and I think they can outthink themselves. I like Tulane here, especially at home.
Sometimes the simple handicap is just like, did we watch the last game? Did you watch a Tulane team that was going to cause some problems if they played the game again?
I mean, I think you have the advantage from a motivational point of view. You lost, and your defensive coordinator, Tulane's got a good defense. I think obviously they were exposed a little bit against Gus Malzahn in the way that they were doing things with Rice Plumlee and then switching to Keene. I'm gonna ride with Tulane too. I think it's hard to beat. It's hard to beat a team twice.
Benedict Dant pointing out the AAC makes Colby horny. I'll agree with you guys.
Tulane
number is what sold me on it, but I worried that we're just gonna see UCF win again. All right. Now moving on to a game that everyone is very excited for. North Carolina versus South Carolina, 5 p.m. on the West Coast. We're heading to Charlotte.
At least it's outdoors.
Where Clemson takes on North Carolina. It is outdoors. It's at the long turf of the Carolina Panthers field. Carolina is catching 7.5 in what will definitely be a bit of a home game for them. I think
I don't
plus
know.
240 on the money line. Clemson minus 305. 63.5 is the total. This means a lot more for North Carolina than it does Clemson. Clemson's a team that's competing for national championships on a year in and year out basis. And I know I just used the opposite argument for Georgia and why the SEC championship matters, but we've talked about this a lot. Dabo's at a fucking crossroads right now.
And they're coming off a loss too.
But
I mean, they lost to South Carolina. It's crazy.
mean, they weren't that good all year, man. Like,
no, but
they should have a lot more
they
losses.
lost
The
in
ACC
ways
just sucked.
they didn't typically lose, and now they're laying 7.5 against a team that plays no defense but can score points.
Yeah.
To me, this is a danger spot for Clemson. I've taken Clemson too many times where I'm just like, yeah, the defensive line, the talent will win because I think North Carolina has some of their own talent. And so, yeah, I
but
think
UNC is really disappointed too. Like both these teams are kind of similar in that they're able to get some points, but
yeah.
I don't think so because I think North Carolina, like they're still like their main goal for the season is still on the table, and they're playing for the ACC championship.
That's true.
Clemson is shooting way below where they wanted to be at this.
They wanted to be in the playoff. You're right. Yeah, I'm on UNC plus 7.5.
Yeah, I like it too. I think there's a money line shot here because I don't know that Clemson's
100%.
offense can keep up with them. Even with North Carolina's defense being that bad, and I know I said this, I think for the Notre Dame game, and Notre Dame was able to keep up with them. I think Carolina will have some opportunity. Even the last time they played a couple years ago when Clemson was a lot better, Carolina went for 2 in the win and didn't get it. I think North Carolina has enough talent to stay with Clemson. Give me the points. Sprinkle a little bit on that money line.
Yeah, I do kind of want to see Mac Brown dance around a little bit. All right. Another 5 p.m. kick here on the West Coast. And I'm for the record, I'm going to hate the fact that I've picked North Carolina when I'm watching this game. 5 p.m.
That is a disgusting
Well,
act.
shout out to me. I'll be hanging out with some youth sports dads in a bar down in San Diego. Youth sports for the win. Big Ten championship, 5 p.m. on the West Coast. Indy. It's a dome. Sean, Colby's not happy about it. Purdue, Michigan.
That is a disgusting act.
No one's happy.
I mean,
about
you go
this
the
game.
whole year playing in the Big Ten, and you settle it here.
Look, Colby, I disagree.
We agree.
Play this at Lambeau. Play this at Soldier.
Why'd you wind him up, right?
I disagree with your macro take on domes because I'm fine with domes in certain areas. But I agree with you with the Big Ten. This is a weird thing to do for your championship game when you do have historic outdoor stadiums in your geolocation. So Soldier Field, to your point, Lambeau, maybe not enough hotel space out there, but like use Chicago. Like don't overthink it. Also, good that you're doing it, but we still have, I think, one more season of this where we have to watch a good team from one division beat the shit out of a bad team from another division. Michigan laying 16.5 against Purdue. This stands out more to me as the game where we might want to look to the dog. Minus 885. Nice money line there.
Well, I'm
on the money line, Purdue plus 570, 51.5 is the total.
I'm going back and forth because obviously this is a massive letdown spot for them after the huge win in Ohio.
Precisely.
But then on the other side, they need to win. I mean, if they lose this, they might not be in the college football playoff.
Yes, but they do not need to do anything more than win. And to your point, I mean, come on.
Sure.
This reminds the coaches commenting on like shit that the fans are up to.
This reminds me somewhat like the Illinois game where it's like, this game could get a little squirrely and it could come down to the last possession. Michigan probably pulls it out. But Purdue and the points I like.
I've talked about this a lot over the past couple of years on the college football experience is that if there was one team that benefits by playing in a dome, a lot of times, anyone in the Big Ten West, normally Wisconsin, Iowa, Illinois, Northwestern, they get walked off because in the dome the speed is that's your advantage and they don't have the speed. So Purdue though, I think they can play in like the dome, and also obviously Purdue is located in Indiana, so it's almost they might have a little bit of the crowd there.
Shout out to Benedict Dantle because I'm looking at some news.
Yeah.
The Purdue quarterback.
That's what I was gonna say.
Okay, you're getting to that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why don't you get to it then?
His brother passed away this past week.
Jeez.
So I think he's gonna play. I think he's gonna play, and I actually think they can give Michigan a game. I wouldn't be surprised because another thing is Charlie Jones their leading receiver, 97 catches on the year. That's his best friend from childhood. I think this is a dangerous game for Michigan.
Sometime now, my counter argument. Now I'm gonna feel like an asshole saying this is that if you look at the history of the Big Ten championship, there are definitely a handful of blowouts, but there's less than you'd think. Now last year Michigan obviously rolled up Iowa because they can't score points. But to your point, Purdue, they might be able to score some points. There may be a team that's assisted a little bit in the dome. And oh, by the way, we have a heavy dose of tragic magic. I mean, sometimes you need that little bit of pick me up. So, and you know, obviously bets coming in on Michigan early and often here. We're seeing this number. Where were we picking at this? 16.5. We're seeing this number already start to move up to 17. A lot of 17s out there. So expect it to continue to grow because most places are reporting that his status for the Big Ten game is in question.
Yeah, well, obviously, I mean, I'm sure Jeff Brom's not sitting there saying, "Hey, dude, are you going?" You know, like this is a terrible situation. But I mean,
but 100% of the time, when tragedy happens around athletes, they go to the thing that like it. Obviously, his family, they're all going to want him to. They're not going to want him to put his life on hold for what just happened. Like, and so every single time the guy ends up playing. And most of the time it ends up being, you know, some crazy emotional outpouring by him and all his teammates. So yeah, let's play the dog sound effect because that money line loading.
Another angle to this too is like Harbaugh's only played Brom once, and that was his first year when Brom hadn't had.
You are a Brom guy.
Well, I think he's a great schematically. He can really find advantages to get points out of a team that you sit there and say, well, how are they putting up this many points? I think he has that advantage, you know. I thought you clearly see Jim Harbaugh has that too. We saw that with last week, Ryan Day. Wasn't that the most evident thing? I don't know if you guys got eyes on that game, but to me, one coach made adjustments, one didn't.
Yeah, horrible second half for Ryan Day.
And so I think Brom can give him a game. I think this is obviously pending O'Connell playing, but
it would be pretty funny to watch Michigan beat Ohio State. Ohio State not playing the Big Ten championship. Michigan then lose the Big Ten championship, and Ohio State gets in the playoff.
Oh man,
college football really doesn't make sense to anyone. All right, we got a bonus game here, and it came up in the chat earlier. Figured it'd be a good question for Colby, but why is the SWAC champion not get to play in the?
No, they have the option to. They go with history and they go with the money. They get like over $1 million to play in the Celebration Bowl.
This is the Celebration Bowl, and so basically Dion could have played in the FCS playoff.
Yeah, but he made that known that if they win the SWAC championship, just like last year, he said we don't want the FCS playoffs because we're going to win more money. We're going to make more money going into the Celebration Bowl.
I love how transparent Dion is. I really hope he goes into a Power 5 conference just to start. And by the way, we didn't get to it with Stone, but I was going to bring up like. The Dion to the Pac-12 thing, that the area no one's looking at is the fact that the Pac-12 commissioner comes fresh off running MGM. Like Dion's not a fucking dumb man. You want to talk about a conference that's going to be ripe with partnerships? He works with Barstool. He understands the value of working with these gaming companies.
Another angle too is like Dion is a competitive dude. You know, Colorado. I know like it might be a short-term stop there because he could get a bigger job, but. Guess who passed on them last year? Deion Sanders interviewed at Colorado State. They interviewed at TCU. Colorado plays both of them next year, so it might be a little,
like that.
Little something,
a little revenge factor.
So Jackson State takes on Southern -17.5 on the money line, -915 for Jackson State. Southern +585, 50.5 is the total. And make sure you tune in to the halftime show for any of those fans of the old movie, the classic Drumline. With come on,
Nick Cannon.
Cannon.
Yeah.
No Nick Cannon guys here.
Oh yeah,
that takes place.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
That takes place at halftime of the Celebration Bowl. So
Nick Cannon has a lot of children. I mean, Jackson State is just on a mission. 11-0, one of the best scoring defenses in all the FCS. I mean, they won 35-0 in October. I don't know. It's tough for me to make the case for Southern.
Yeah, it's tough. I agree. I mean, maybe you play the distraction angle from Dion. You know, potentially getting South Florida's job or Colorado's job. I know it's hard to beat a team twice, but this talent level is completely different. I think Southern, is having a decent season, 7-4, but I gotta lay the points. I'm with Stone.
How many more years of eligibility does his son have, the quarterback?
I think a couple. I think 2 or 3. Yeah, I think 3.
So,
because if he uses the COVID year, he could do 3 more
so if you're
years,
moving on to another program after this year, what better way to walk off into the sunset than a big win? And as I mentioned before, Prime knows a little bit about the number. He understands what's going on here.
Prime?
He talks about this.
We're talking about covering
transparently.
spreads.
This is a money. This is
everyone
a money
on
grab.
Jackson State.
You've been catching Travis Hunter. He's basically doing the Dion, playing corner and wide receiver.
Well, I mean that people wondered why he went to the smaller school. Well, it lets you showcase a little bit.
He had a pick 6 for a touchdown and a catch for a touchdown in
love to see
2 weeks ago. I think
that's football playing both ways.
Yeah, there we go. Let's go. Slinging Sammy Ball did it. Let's go.
That's it. We've reached the end of the slate. Shout out to Colby. Tune into the college football experience, or if you want to hear him break down the FCS games one at a time. Oh,
they're not in a dome in the FCS.
They don't play in a dome.
Time for the Lock Dog Tease presented by WynnBet. Bet $100, get a $100 free bet. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/WynnBet. Kramer, you're up.
I mean, USC is going to be lock number 1. I understand that USC has had a propensity to choke and do horrible things recently, but obviously the new coaching staff's here. Things are working. They got a quarterback. I think they roll here on their way to a playoff appearance. For my second lock, I'm going to stay major conference. I think to me, this Purdue, you know what? I'll save it. Give me Georgia, SEC championship. I don't buy the narrative that they're going to do anything other than dominate this game. I think it matters to the alumni, and I think they're a better team. And I think I'm half joking, but Stetson Bennett, at some point you have to speak some respect in that man's name. Dog, let's go with Purdue. I like everything about it. The tragic magic was the icing on the cake. And there's no better way for this to be a chaotic playoff season than Michigan beating Ohio State and not making the playoff when Ohio State didn't play a game this week and they make the playoff. Tease. Let's stick on to the key, crossing lots of key numbers. Give me Kansas State plus 8.5. Give me, oh boy, Troy minus 2.5. Coastal not the same without the quarterback. And Dion, do we tease an FCS?
Yeah,
down to 11.5.
Let's go.
Some key numbers in there. Let's go.
All righty, let's get it cooking here. For my lock, give me Purdue plus 16.5. Dog. For my other lock, give me Jackson State minus 17.5. They're just gonna light them up. For my dog, I also like Purdue on the money line, but give me North Texas plus 255.
That's a baby dog.
What do you mean? They're an 8.5 point dog. Dog. The baby dog is
it's half
Ohio.
It's less than half my dog. I mean,
well, Ryan, there's only one 16.5. All right, I'll take Purdue on the money line.
Wait, a lock and a dog are the same team, Sean?
No, you can't do that. That's bad mojo. I'm sticking with North Texas. For my tees, let's get Troy down to 2.5.
Nice.
LSU up to 24.
Oh wow, that's dangerous. And that's a dangerous teaser. I'm gonna tell you right now, there's no value from 18 to 24.
And then UNC up to 13.5.
Teasing my family.
All right, Colby, what do you got?
Lock up USC minus 3.
Can I predict Colby's other lock?
Sure.
Kansas State.
Colby?
Not my other lock, but I like it.
Oh.
I'm going my other lock. Let's go Purdue plus the points.
Wow. It's copying you, Sean.
Yeah,
That's gotta feel good.
Dog. The Akron Zips plus 340. Let's go. Maction.
Yeah, that's true.
Friday afternoon action. That is a fun sweat.
Tease.
Ryan's on the chalky Buffalo side.
Tease, let's go. What are we doing here? What are we doing? You want to watch the masterwork?
I
let's
do.
Go.
I'm very curious to see where you go.
Coley is a tease machine.
Let's go. North Carolina plus 13.5.
Ooh, sharp.
It's Pick Dundee on the shirt, and it's just the text is the teaser.
Kansas State.
The
plus,
teaser, please.
Kansas State plus 8.5.
Oh yeah,
That's a good tease.
Oh yeah, love that.
Even though TCU is
Colby,
going to win.
you're not doing anything.
North
crazy.
Texas plus 14.5.
Ooh, there you go.
There we
Can't-
go.
I mean,
Little round robin.
I feel a little bit like Colby did it. That wasn't what I was expecting with the tease.
So I think for us,
UNC, Purdue,
UNC, Purdue, and North Texas.
we don't have to put North Texas in there.
You could go UNC, Purdue, K State, right? No, Sean,
Yeah, let's just do UNC,
yeah.
Purdue. That'll pay out
Okay.
enough.
Well, yeah. Are you sure you don't want to? If we're gonna, maybe we suggest only do the 2-teamers, but do all throw North Texas in there.
So do a round robin with North Texas in there.
Are we putting the 3-teamer together though too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Round robin, UNC, Purdue, and North Texas. Let's go.
Sean, don't forget to remind people we're talking about college basketball later on today.
Yeah, we got a college basketball tip in maybe 4:30, 4 o'clock Pacific. Stay tuned. YouTube.com/sportsgamblingpodcast. Subscribe so you don't miss a live episode. Chat was good as always.
You know, I figured out how to look at the analytics in YouTube, and I hate when I'm watching a video and people point this out. But a lot of people watch videos that aren't subscribed. That's fucked up.
What are you doing? Subscribe. It's free. You get a sweet little notification that a free video with awesome picks is coming your way.
I'm not even asking for the bell. I'm just saying they're not even subscribed. Like, come on, you can't click twice. You got like arthritis. I mean, I'm
Soft.
40. I got arthritis.
It's like, what do we got to do? Send you the football phone with it?
I mean,
You know
we
what I
do
mean?
need to reopen the F line.
We will bring the F line back.
I've heard a couple of people ask for that.
All right, and hey, check out the college football experience and college basketball experience. Daily college basketball picks, college football picks. You can get them all on the SGPN app, free in the App Store.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green, and he is Ryan.
Don't worry, we will cover the Army Navy game next week.
Kramer, let it ride.
Dong.